Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Gym Master Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. How's everybody doing today? It's so good to see your smiley faces. I see comments already built up here, and I think that is fantastic. We are coming at you live. That's right, with the Gym Master Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series, where we're bringing back that lost art of conversation. And we're doing it in style today. We have a very special guest joining us from Long Island, New York. That's right. Lidia Szczepanowski is joining us. She is world top model, Ms. 2022. She's also a philanthropist, a litigation attorney, keynote speaker. And that is just the short list, folks. That is just the short list. She's going to join us in just a second. We're very excited to have her here. If you guys would like to comment while the show is live and you'd like to do it in chat, be sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel right now so you can do that. When you subscribe, that's a very special gift to all of our subscribers. The fact that you can chat during the show when the show is live. So feel free to do that. And again, don't forget, if you enjoy this episode and all the episodes you enjoy, to give us a thumbs up like. That's what we would love, a thumbs up like, which is really something special. And that thumbs up like is something that just tells us how much you enjoy what we're doing. You enjoy all these episodes. And of course, you love our series. And be sure and leave a comment on that YouTube channel as well. That would be great. Thanks for all the terrific comments. We've got a phenomenal show for you because literally just this week, Lidia won World Top Model Ms. 2022. I mean, just days ago, she was so excited. She contacted me and let me know because we had been chatting about her coming on the show. And she immediately let me know when she won, and it was fantastic. Congratulations to her. Again, she'll be with us in just a second. But in addition to that, as I mentioned, she is a prominent litigation attorney and law expert, keynote speaker. She also created a foundation in support of women. We're going to talk about that in just a second. And she's a philanthropist. So she, even though she's successful and she's worked hard, she gives back and she likes to inspire people. And we talk about that a lot here on the Gym Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. Again, if you'd like to comment, boy, look at all these comments coming in here. We always have a busy show. We always have lots of comments that come in live, and that is so cool. We thank you for that, gang. Just want to tell you a little bit more about our special guest. I just told you just a little snippet there. She's really somebody incredible. She exemplifies the real life embodiment of the words success, independence, entrepreneurship, and glamour. But most significantly, despite her extraordinarily busy schedule, she is most passionate about giving back through proactive hands-on participation in philanthropy and philanthropic activities. Lidia has acquired a plethora of knowledge over the years as a litigation attorney, businesswoman, media producer, host, keynote speaker, black belt in karate, and beauty queen. Her latest achievement, the launch of her patented Sculptura, that's right, Shapewear clothing line, which is a physical manifestation of the decades of unique experiences and useful information she picked up along the way. It's developed beautifully crafted garments that subtly transform the human form by accentuating the body's contours and not just compressing them. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. And that's just, again, the short list of some of the incredible things that she does. The product was recently advanced to the final round on season 13 of the Shark Tank television show. And she also won the prestigious FabCon Top 100 Fab, that's Fashion, Apparel, and Beauty Leaders Award, too. She began her journey as a child of working class Polish immigrants, overcoming many economic and personal challenges, but she refused to accept adversity as an excuse to settle for second best. We're going to talk about that as well and so much more. But won't you join me in welcoming from Long Island, New York, our very special guest, Lidia, joining us here, Szczepanowski, joining us from her beautiful home on Long Island. And she's going to toast you too. You know how we do toasts here on the Gym Master Show Live? I think we're both going to toast each other, and we will toast all of you. Get things set up here. And there we are. Cheers, slancha,
Cheers.
chin chin, and all the rest. Yes, welcome to our show. Sip, sip. Not too shabby a way to begin as a guest, huh?
Thank you for that lovely introduction.
Oh, my pleasure. And again, that was just the short list. It's so cool to have you here. And again, congratulations on winning World Top Model Ms. 2022. That is exciting. Tell us all about that. Because again, this is exciting news that is being revealed, now almost.
Well, interestingly enough, the competition is unlike anything I've certainly ever done before. I guess if you were to analogize it, I would say it's kind of a cross between a reality show and a beauty pageant, perhaps,
Yeah.
with the modeling competition all kind of combined. It consisted of the first thing we got there, we did registration, and this was actually pretty interesting. We had to do a headshot challenge. So there's this prominent photographer, Dennis Madigan, who is actually like the Miss Universe photographer. He is there and he will take 5 images of you, 5 photos, no direction. He doesn't say anything. You basically sit there and you need to pose.
You need to
to do your
pose.
thing.
That's it. Strike a pose.
Yes, strike a pose. And it's a little intimidating. I mean, look, there are models and there are models. And I just had a lot of fun with it. And I did my thing. And I guess I did okay.
You
So,
did.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that was the first component. And then we got up really, really early the next morning. We had to do a glam photo shoot in the middle of Times Square in the wintertime. So,
Yes.
but not only that, we had to walk. So the hotel was the New Yorker. So that's on 35th and 8th. We had to walk all the way to 46. So we're in our gowns. Thank God it wasn't too cold. And again, the same criteria applied, where the photographer would basically take photos of you without giving you direction, and you are the director. So here
Wow.
we are. You can go between, this block and this radius, and you just go. So
And you
here we
just
are. We're like stopping traffic, and
Yeah.
there's the billboards, and here I am in this lovely gown, and I'm flittering around and doing my photos. And I was really shocked. I want to say that, but they came out so beautifully. I was really impressed, but I have to give credit also to the photographer. I guess he just knows what he's doing. So I guess he can make anyone look good. So that was but so after that, I'll kind of, as you can see, there's like reality show components to this thing, and we're running
Yeah.
around doing photos. The next thing is we did have a challenge that was a go-see challenge. So when you are a model, you go on go-sees, and go-sees are
Ghosties.
really
Right.
for the modeling. So we had to
Right.
bring our comp card and our portfolio, and we interviewed in front of an agent, and the judges were there. And
Wow.
yeah, we had to
That's
walk,
cool.
and they watched us walk and whatnot because they want to see what you look like. So we had to wear kind of fairly fitted clothing. And then after that, we had what's called a brand challenge competition, which was really great because we weren't really told what that was. But now you mentioned Shark Tank before, but what it was essentially Shark Tank. You're pitching a product or an
Hmm.
idea or a concept. It didn't matter what the subject matter was. So I, of course, happened to have had my Sculptura Fashions dress with me. So I put that on and I did my presentation. And then we had the opportunity to discuss or speak about our brand, our topic, with the owner, Renee. And he asked us questions, and it was really wonderful because all the contestants were present, and we all heard about each other, and it was really, really empowering, really wonderful. So that was that. Then the following day, now mind you, this is all during New York Fashion Week. This is all happening. So there are a lot of runway shows and fashion shows.
A
So
lot going on.
yeah,
Yeah.
a lot going on. And after we did fittings, then we walked in fashion shows, and then we were judged on that. So, you're wearing the designer outfits, and you're walking down the runway and you're being judged. So that was kind of fun. There was an optional swimsuit competition. And then after Sunday was the finale. So in the finale, you had an opening number, which was basically a costume that represented your state or region or country. I represented the East Coast because
Yeah.
I live in New York. Obviously, I have a place. We also have a place in Florida, so it was like the sunrise over the
Yeah.
water. We did that, and then there was runway wear, and that was where my daughter she was the one that pretty much created the costume. Luna Taylor Arch, like I mentioned, she's at Parsons. So it was like a family thing. And my daughter and I bonded, and I went into the city and I saw her, and we went thrifting and we went shopping. We had the best time. And then after that, we had the red carpet wear, and I thought it was a great idea. I upcycled. I wore a gown that I had previously worn, but I kind of modified it a little. I added a train, and then in conclusion, after that, they pretty much called out the winners. Oh, we did have an interview with the owner as well, which was really great. So he got to know me. Yeah.
I think we have video of the announce too. We can show, yeah, which is really, really cool. That's a special, special moment when that happens, right?
It really was. I was shocked beyond.
That's it. We're going to see that shock and awe right now. Take a look, gang.
Top model Ms. is East Coast.
Wow.
You have to, at the end of that frame, you have to see my face. It's like, it's actually very sweet.
Which is really, I mean, that's so cool. I mean, again, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's something extra special, you know, and we've got some cool shots we want to show people. Tell us about this. This is the crowning, right?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because it is not a beauty pageant, but the reason why they did that is they wanted to have that moment where that person is acknowledged. And truth be told, a lot of times if we go to a children's hospital or we go to a veterans hospital, they like the regalia. They do sometimes request a sash. The crown basically, it kind of, and we don't wear it. We're models and we're not pageant girls. But we did this more of again, it was just a ceremonial thing. And I guess it's kind of like the Queen of England. She doesn't wear her crown all the time. It's just a ceremonial thing.
But kind of cool, huh? How did it feel to have that on?
In fact,
oh,
I figured I would share this. It's actually very pretty. It has a lot of, shine to it. There we go. See? But anyway. But that's it.
There she is, Miss World Top Model, East Coast.
Exactly. Well, what made
Where's Burt Parks?
What made it even more special, Jim, is the fact that I'm going to be 57 years old in April, and I think I was the oldest, or if not, like definitely up there. And it was really fun because the competition was all inclusive. It was diverse. There are women of all sizes and shapes. And again, it wasn't about finding that model that's going to walk on a runway in Paris or, something with a high-end designer. It wasn't that. The youngest individual was a young lady that was 14. So we're all together. You're all together. I was like everyone's mother. I was everyone's mother.
Joan Conway is walking, and Joe says hello. My longtime friend, Lydia.
Oh.
Joe Conway. That's cool.
Yeah.
Wonderful. It's great to have fans and followers.
You know what happens? I didn't feel like I didn't belong. I didn't feel that age really mattered because it just doesn't. It just doesn't.
It doesn't.
It's about attitude. It's about how you feel about yourself. It's about, how you carry yourself, your confidence, your self-esteem, your self-worth. And I'm all about that. I'm all about inspiring and challenging women to just evolve and be as good and wonderful as they could possibly be.
Absolutely. These are some great shots. We're looking at all these different looks and everything, huh?
Still looks like me.
That is her. That is her in the flesh. Yeah. So this was one of those portfolio shots, right?
Yeah. That was actually a modeling shoot that I did in Seattle, Washington. I remember.
That was in Seattle, huh?
Yeah, that was from Seattle. Yeah, I've been, my history. That's actually one of my dresses. I'm wearing that on a rooftop. I think it's it's a hotel in New York City. I don't remember which one it is, but the secret is the boobs and the butt. That's not really mine. The dress has special pockets in it that actually kind of cradle these accessories that give you extra curves.
The boots and the butt are not really mine. That sounds like the title of a book you should write.
I know.
The boots and the butt were not really mine.
Well, not for nothing, but women wear bras and they go to
There's all kinds of different
all kinds of things
enhancements. But look at that. I mean, that's a great shot.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I think
Yeah.
that was in Vegas.
Was that in Vegas?
I
Yeah.
think that might have been in Vegas. Yeah, I remember. As I'm looking at these,
Yeah.
I am reminiscing about traveling. Oh, that's me. Yep. I'm a black belt in
Yes.
karate.
Black belt. How long have you been doing this?
Oh gosh, I started so many years ago. Let's see, I think I earned my black belt back in 2000 and I want to say 5. So it was quite some time ago. But I still, do I train in karate right now? No, but then I started training in other forms of martial arts. Sistema I did for a while. Then I was boxing for a while, and I'm just moving on. I just everything from Pilates to I just do it all.
That's good.
I love to just do sports and running and everything.
Yes. See, that's really,
Yeah.
really cool. It keeps you fit and healthy, and it
Yeah.
just changes the dynamic in such a great way, which I think is perfect. There's another great shot coming
Thank
out of
you.
the
I love
cab.
that. A classic New York City taxi cab, right?
So what was the secret to getting that cab to stop?
We gave him money. We paid
That's
him.
it. Yes, you
We gave him
waved the
20
money in your
bucks and said,
hand.
we gave him $20 and said, here you go. We need
That's
your
it.
cab for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, or whatever.
That we needed for the shot. Poolside.
That's my pool. Yep.
That's on Long Island there.
That is, yes.
Backyard.
Yes, it
Very
is.
nice.
Yeah. So
Very nice.
it's very good. Oh, this is good.
You
That's
know what we
still
should have done? We
donuts.
should have done the donuts and then the black belt fitness
Yeah, exactly.
in that
Exactly.
order.
My
This is a
very
cool
dear,
one.
it's really good to have a best friend that is a photographer. Nikki McDonald is a photographer and she has a modeling school and whatnot. I never took classes or anything, but she took this photo and this is an ad for a magazine for
Yeah.
Dough Donuts. Dough Donuts is there's a couple of them. There's one in Rockefeller Center, excuse me.
Oh, Rockefeller Center in New York
There's a
City.
couple,
Yeah.
there's in Brooklyn, there's all kinds of, but it's my friend Steve Klein owns it. And that was just I love that photo. I think it's hysterical.
It's a cool shot. Yes. It's a really cool shot. Were those donuts you could eat?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Did you guys have some?
100%. I eat everything. No, you don't understand. I'm a foodie. I love
Oh,
food.
yeah. I'm a foodie too. Yeah, I'm definitely a foodie. That's a nice shot too in black and white
you.
with the silhouettes.
That's my friend Nikki also. See, I'm telling you, it's good to have a best friend.
Yeah, that's a photographer. Look at this
That's
shot.
right.
Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan. Yeah.
Now, where was this?
So I was doing some little red carpet interviews, or I should say pink carpet interviews on Long Island. It was the Pink Tie event where they were raising money for breast cancer. And like I said, a lot of what I did was volunteer work, helping organizations raise money for various charities. And I would, whatever I needed to do, whether it be with a microphone or walk around and help. I'm always willing to help out, dress up as a chicken, whatever it is. It doesn't
Exactly.
matter.
Yes, which I think is really, really cool. And, having fun and just enjoying life, which is what it's all about.
Always.
Cool
That was
shot.
me. Okay, so that's my son. I have 3 kids. He's my middle son. We participated in a.
He's the little one?
He's my little one.
Tall guy.
I have 26, 24, and 20 right now. So this is the middle one, Daniel. We participated in Tough Mudder. Tough. Have you heard of that?
Yes, but explain it for our audience who might not know.
It's essentially an obstacle course that's 10 miles long, and it has approximately 20 obstacles that include everything from climbing up these tremendously large fences, and then you have to go down into the mud, and literally that's why it's called Tough Mudder. You're crawling through the mud. The best one was this. It was the most difficult. Now, I was a gymnast when I was younger, so there was one obstacle. It was insane. So you have to first climb up a ladder, a metal ladder on an incline, right? So we're climbing up the ladder. Then there's these spinning metal things, right? You got to go from here, grab on, and it's spinning you around. It's like Wipeout,
Yeah.
And then you have to go to another spinning one. You grab that one. And then at the end, you have this like long pole. You got to climb to that. So this is actually very funny. So I'm like literally 3 feet away from the end, and there's water underneath us, by the way, like it's up high over water.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at my son. I'm like, Daniel, catch me.
Catch me.
What are you talking about? You're like 3 feet away. How? So I swung, and of course my feet hit the edge, and I fell in the water. So that was the only one I completed, but I didn't quite complete perfectly.
Now, it sounds intense, it
Yes,
sounds tough, and it sounds physically and mentally demanding.
it was. It really
How does
was.
that compare to being in the courtroom?
Different, different. The courtroom's a piece of cake, you know,
Yeah.
as long as you're prepared.
Yeah.
It's really the behind the scenes. I guess it's like anything else, you know. When I got my black belt at Tiger Schulman's, then it was karate, then it turned into MMA. So I'm a big MMA fan, and mixed martial arts is, you know, it's all about who's the most fit, most prepared,
Really is, yeah.
the best stamina. And it's the same in the courtroom. Whoever's the most prepared, who knows their case, they know their facts, they know the law, they're probably going to do better than the person who doesn't have that, who didn't take the time to really prepare. I guess that's true in anything in life, right?
Absolutely.
So,
What first interested you in law? Again, for those joining us late, not only is she world top model Ms. 2022, but she's also a renowned litigation attorney, keynote speaker, philanthropist, and so much more. And you're very big in women's empowerment. You've created this wonderful organization that you founded. But as far as the law, what interested you early on in wanting to become a lawyer?
oh gosh, you know, it's actually a funny story. And one thing about me is I just say it the way it is. So I graduated from college. I went to Hofstra University with a degree in international business. I had a BBA.
Yeah.
And I was working for Estee Lauder in Macy's, actually at the Walt Whitman Mall. So I'm probably
My
familiar
mother
with
worked
it.
for 33 years for Estee Lauder in New York.
That's so
Small
funny.
world,
Okay,
huh?
so I was that woman behind the counter selling cosmetics. It was a fantastic job to have during college. And I graduated and they offered me a position as an account coordinator. And I don't know what it was, but there was something inside me that said I needed to continue my education. So I said to myself, well, what am I going to do? I didn't want to just get my master's degree. I'm like, oh, I'll go to law school. And I said, if I don't get in, I'll teach windsurfing in Club Med or something. But lo and behold, I literally
Remember Club
applied.
Med? What happened to Club Med?
I applied to one school, St. John's University School
St.
of Law, and I applied for their 2.5-year accelerated program. We were called FEBS. And guess what? I got in.
Wow.
So the rest is history. While in law school, I interned with an appellate division judge, and also who was then appointed to the federal bench, and then I followed him there to the United States District Court, Eastern District of New York, and then from there, you know, it's interesting. I think that most people will continue doing what they did at an internship or their first job. That seems to be the case.
Yes.
My husband Stephen is also an attorney. And we met studying for the bar exam, actually.
Is he
And
litigation as well?
he does workers' compensation and Social Security disability, Stephen Goldsmith. And
So he's
he
very
was a
busy.
cop lawyer in New York.
He's very busy. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the same with him. He started with someone in that area of law, and he stayed with it. And so many people that I know, it's just the way it is. Wherever you are, that's kind of where you probably will continue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so I wish I
Then
had a
you-
better, exciting story. Like
No,
somehow,
it is
you know.
exciting. Well, you know, it's very empowering too. It's very empowering for others out there, male and female. And, you know, to also balance that out with the top model. You're
Mhm.
also a philanthropist, which we'll talk about. But
Mhm.
you created this fantastic women's organization and celebration of women. Women. I'd love for you to tell us about that, because when I,
Sure.
you know, saw that, I was like, now that is what people really need to see, in addition to all the other stuff we're talking
Mhm.
about, because I know that's
Yeah.
something very near and dear to your heart.
It absolutely is. And this is where we'll get serious probably, but it's the National Organization for Women's Safety Awareness, which is also the acronym is we call it the NOWSA. So it's the NOWSA.org. And it was formed in 2007. It's a 501c3, not for profit. And our mission is to raise awareness about violence and harassment that exists against women and teens. And we create initiatives and have programs and events to help, you know, stop it, or to do things to help stop that. It's so prevalent in our society. We started doing this well before the Me Too movement, and that certainly accelerated our mission, which was really, really good, because that issue was really brought to light. So you hear about it all the time between I mean, look, even today I was watching the news and you hear about the New York governor and about, talk about sexual harassment and allegations made. Again, I'm, as an attorney, allegations are allegations until someone's actually found to be guilty of something.
Yeah.
They could have actually done it, but there could be technicalities. You just never know what's going to happen. But between, the Cuomos and then, think about the governors, Elliot Spitzer years ago, you had, that was a little bit of a different story, but Weinstein, it's just, the list is so long, and this happens all the time.
Yeah.
So I guess my journey actually with regards to this charity probably started when I was 13 years old, when I was a victim as well. And I was only 13 years old, and I didn't tell anyone for years. And it really impacted me because I spent my teenage years uglying myself up. I covered myself. I didn't really want to show myself. I was embarrassed because as a young girl, especially if you don't talk to anyone about it, you feel like, well, what did I do? Did I do something to promote this or for this to happen? And it kind of messes with your head a little bit. So I'm a big fan of learning about your, adverse childhood experiences and the quote unquote trauma that happened as a child, because it really influences you. It stays with you, because even though I'm turning 57 years old, I still have that little girl inside me that talks to me, and I talk to her. And that's where the insecurities lie. That's where the, am I good enough? Am I worthy of love and connection? Are people going to accept me? Do I belong? It's all those little insecurities. They're there. And that's what I just described is exactly what I am now talking about and trying to inspire women to look at themselves, analyze themselves, honor those feelings. Don't say, oh, everything's okay, because everything's not always okay. But you do have to learn how to process and deal with those emotions and those feelings. So I like to say sometimes, you put them in a box and stick them in the freezer because they're still there, but they don't affect you the same way. They don't impact you. And going back to the Nauza, majority of women who are in unhealthy relationships, many of them, it doesn't matter whether they're professionals. It doesn't matter how much money they make. It doesn't matter where they came from. It just doesn't matter. A lot of it has to do with, they're attracted to the familiar. So if their family dynamic was such that their father and, and mother perhaps had an unhealthy relationship, or whatever it is, there's so many different dynamics, that becomes your role model. That becomes inside you. And a lot of times you're attracted to things like that completely. You don't even realize it.
You don't even realize it.
Don't even realize it. And people say, wait a second, why is she with this?
Person.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what I do is, I encourage women on so many levels to really, I focus on self-worth and self-love, because those are two things that are going to change the trajectory of your life from, a young girl up through, my age. And if you are a healthy person, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and really mentally healthy, and again, I'm not a psychologist, so please, I don't want anyone saying like giving advice, but I share my story and what I went through, and other women's stories. And it can only benefit you. And so many, again, as a lawyer, so many stories I hear of women that are abused by their husbands financially, emotionally, the silent treatment. I mean, there's so many different levels of it, and it ends up not well, whether it be physical violence or just the divorce is horrible and it's money, and then the kids get involved, and then the kids. Now, keep in mind, now what are you doing? You're perpetuating the cycle again, and it's sad. But anyway, so so it's all connected, and people ask me, well, why do you do these crazy things? So, I say like this event that I participated in, the company that hosts it and presents it, it's called Beauty It's Everywhere. And their ideology and their mission just aligns so perfectly with what I believe in and what I've been discussing really my whole life. It's what I live. And I said to myself, I want to be a part of that, whether it really had nothing to do with winning or anything like that. I just wanted to be a part of that event because I wanted to really from my, not just from myself, but even from my daughter. And, I wanted to say, I can do this. I don't have to be, 20s or 30s and, any age. It's about confidence. It's about who you are. It's about your energy. It's about, it's not about being perfect because trust me, I'm far from perfect in so many ways. But I guess they saw something in me that they thought that I would be the best representative at this time to promote their ideology, which is exactly what I just shared. In summary, that's what I do. So between my charity and then I have the position, and I will be going to different events and promoting a good, healthy self-esteem. And again, it's beauty is everywhere, and it comes in different shapes and sizes and ages. And I got to tell you, social media, it's messing up our kids.
It is, yeah, it is.
Because everything is filtered, everything is
not real, and
we all know it's not real. But these kids,
competitive, and
and they think that in order to have value, they need to look a certain way and be a certain way. But in the meantime, we know we're mature, and we understand that your value comes from within. It's not going to come from anything other than who you are.
Right.
Look, what your physical appearance is, that's part of who you are. You can't deny that. I look the way I look. It's just the way I am. I'm a certain height. I'm an attorney. I have, whatever my quality, that doesn't give me value. I could be the biggest jerk in the whole world. It's not going to make me a good person. I could be nasty. I could be, not care about people, but I love people. I love to talk to people. I can't shut up. I want to talk to everyone and help them if I can. My husband laughs. He's like, you're like the best lawyer I know, but you give away your services for free all the time because I just, I want to help. So, I don't know. I just feel like I'm in a place in my life where I can. I'm so fortunate. I'm so blessed in so many ways that I can be in a place to be hopefully making a difference in other people's lives.
David says that's a great point. We need to reinforce good values. And
exactly.
Maureen in Arizona says, Lydia, where are you hiding the Wonder Woman logo? She almost did a live spit take like they did in vaudeville.
I love that. Well, actually, I didn't tell you, Linda Carter.
And Merlin says all that and raised 3 kids. Hats off to you. Merlin watching in Ontario, Canada.
Thank you. Yes. Yes. My kids are amazing. They're incredible. And you know what? I'm so proud. That is my pride and joy.
Are any of them in law?
Pardon?
Are any of them in the law world?
No, believe it or not. One is a glass blower and 3D printing expert. And the other one is a recruiter. He recruits quants in the city. And then my daughter's at Parsons School of Design and Fashion. So, they follow
Good
their
mix
passions.
Of passions, right?
Yeah. And they're very successful, and they're just good kids. They're just so great.
Wow.
And they're my friends, like they think I'm nuts, but they're really, we hang out. And my daughter in particular, she's like, she'll tell her girlfriends, well, I want to go home and hang out with my mom. And they're like, what? Who does that?
Hey, it's a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
And then everything Lydia too. Tell us about all that.
Well, so what happened was I was doing a lot of things, and I said, well, I need to form a corporation because look, as an attorney and business development lawyer, I work with startups. Now, since the pandemic, I've been doing really like almost no litigation, even though that's historically been what I do. So I focus more on, business development, business strategy and whatnot. So I formed this business entity knowing that if I do I had a lot of stuff going on. One, stylish safety seminars. So I took my martial arts background and I incorporated into the lifestyle of a woman. So I teach a program where I teach like the stiletto stomp and like the handbag hurl and tweezers of terror. And I teach it in a little black dress. So there you go. That's where the little black dress came from. So everything Lydia is the corporation, and it's the hub where all of these, the keynote speeches, the seminars, the Sculptura, it all falls under the auspices of that one business entity. And it was done for, for insurance reasons, for, tax purposes and everything else.
Putting it all together. We have the joined video, the Sculptura video. We'll show that too. Tell us a little about that.
Well, again, it's kind of I like to say, a manifestation of like all the years of, like I mentioned to you earlier, when I was a teen, I hid myself. I was embarrassed of my body. And you know what? It wasn't until 2006 that I participated in my very first like legit beauty pageant. I was 41 years old, and it was Mrs. New York America. And I had to go out on stage in a swimsuit. And I have to tell you, I went out. This was just for, I wanted a little glamour in my life. I had just, raised my kids were still little. And lo and behold, I go out on stage and I won. I won Mrs. New York America. But it was
won that too,
Mrs.
New York America.
But it was that like kind of opened my eyes, and I said, you know what? I let go of all my shame and my guilt, and I'm like, screw this. I am going to be me. I don't care what people say.
Cool.
I'm going to embrace myself and who I am and all of me. So while I was in the fitting room of my girlfriend, Eva Pappas, she has actually a boutique in Sayville. She had these little like underwear that had these silicone little things in them. So I was trying on a dress for who the heck knows what. I don't remember what I was doing, but I put them on just as a joke. And I walked out and I said, damn, my butt looks really good in these. but my bra straps were hanging out. And I think like there was all kinds of, fashion malfunctions happening.
Malfunctions,
so
wardrobe malfunctions.
I said, why isn't this stuff all built into the clothing? Aha. So I said, all right, I'm going to create clothing that encompasses all of that. So I have a utility patent, which is very unusual for clothing, on a clothing line. The first garment happens to be the 5 little black dresses. But the special thing about them is that there's pockets in the bust area and in the booty area that you could add these, I mentioned, I think, curve-loving accessories, if you will. And you can either wear them or not wear them. There's a built-in bra. It's just a great, made in New York City, by the way, right in the United States. High quality, executive quality, I like to call it. A dress that transitions from, for me, courtroom to the cocktail party. Because, I'm a busy girl and I needed to be able to put something on knowing, change the shoes, change the jewelry, ready to go. So that was kind of in a nutshell what happened. But it makes you feel good, when you're wearing a beautiful, well-fitted, quality outfit of any kind, like in this case, this dress. By the way, there's something called enclothed cognition. Enclothed cognition is basically the feeling that one gets when they actually are wearing what I just described. And they did studies, and they're basically saying that the clothing you wear will affect your success, your confidence, your ability to focus. It's crazy that you would think that just clothing, wouldn't have that impact.
So what do they call that? Enclothed?
Enclothed, CLOTHE.
Cognition.
Cognition, yeah. Yeah, and I actually have it on the label of my dresses.
Wow.
Enclosed.
So that's what I'm feeling tonight wearing this turtleneck. I'm feeling enclothed cognition. Yes. Nice and snug and toasty on a winter night. Talking to our world top model, Ms. 2022.
Yes.
We have that video here about the Sculptura and all, and we'll show that to our audience. Thanks everybody for joining us. We are here with world top model Ms. 2022. She just won that award. Also a brilliant philanthropist, litigation attorney, keynote speaker, and so much more. Lydia is here. We're having a good time. She's coming to us from Long Island, New York. And I am your host, Jim Masters. Let's take a look at this. You learn more about one of the other things that Lydia is involved in.
Do you want to empower yourself and flaunt what you've got? If so, then sculpt it your way with our Sculptura dress collection and fall in love with yourself. Tried and treasured by celebrities, anchors, executives, and professionals, our patented Sculptura Shapewear clothing line is the first and the only one of its kind. It is an all-in-one contouring and sculpting dress that is tailored to beautify all different body shapes and sizes. These exquisitely crafted dresses with a do-it-all body shaper, built-in bra, and removable accessories hold you in and smooth you out while accentuating your curves, giving you that extra confidence and edge. We love to create curves that arouse a sense of independence and glamour and the self-assurance you need. Stop hiding, feel confident, and embrace your imperfections with our Sculptura shapewear dresses. For further information, visit us at www.sculpturafashions.com.
Very cool, huh?
Thank you.
Wow. And that's very well received. People are responding to that, and it's great with self-image and confidence
Yes.
building and so much more, right?
Yeah. Well, it's women are busy. We have busy lives and busy lifestyles. And like I said, I'm all about quality versus quantity. I'm, not into fast fashion. That's, how I feel. I'd rather get one item that's a great quality that I know I'm going to wear over and over again, as opposed to, and again, this is just my own personal philosophy that, a lot of people go online and they'll buy something for $20 and wear it once and throw it out. I feel pretty strongly about, sustainability and, just changing the world, little bit at a time, however we can. And whether it be fair wages, like I know the owners of the factory in New York City, they became my friends when I started developing these products. And I felt, like I said, it just felt like this was in so many levels. It just encapsulated so many things about my messaging,
It's all,
loving
everything
yourself.
you do is tied together. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it really does. I mean, it's just happening now that all of it is, it used to be a little disjointed. Everyone's like, what are you doing? You're all over the place. I'm like, no, trust me. It's all going to come together, because at the end of the day, it's all about you and how you see yourself and how you view yourself and
Right.
the value that you have to believe. You really have to believe that you are worthy of love and connection, and that you are good the way you are. You're perfect. And I sound simple, but you have to believe it, not just say it.
Now, going back in time,
That's me on the
how's that for a segue?
That is me on the Empire State Building with my two brothers. And every year we'd go to the Pulaski Day Parade on Fifth Avenue. And of course, my mom dressed me up as a little Krakowianka, which is from, it's the traditional costume of the city of Krakow in Poland. And I thought it was the best thing in the whole world that I was dressed up so beautifully, even though I'm wearing a green, jacket that doesn't quite go. But anyway, so
Remember
you
how
can see,
exciting it would be to go to the top of the Empire State Building? I remember as a kid too, when we went to the top of the Empire State Building, how just incredible. It's one of my favorite buildings in the world. It's right in the center of Manhattan. You can almost see it from wherever you are in Manhattan. And it's just such a Rock of Gibraltar. It's so centering. It survives so much. And
incredible,
architecturally,
really.
it's stunning. And it's just, there's something very comforting when you do see that building.
Yes, absolutely. And I agree with you. And I know what you're saying. You just feel it. It's a feeling you get. Let me throw in the fact that my parents are both Polish immigrants. My mom actually was one of the last people that came over from Poland after the war. She was in a refugee camp because everything was she was taken by the Germans to Germany in a forced labor, camp. And they came over on a ship, and my mother remembers her father putting her on his shoulders and saying, "Zobacz, Statua Wolności. Look, it's the Statue of Liberty. We're home." And it makes me emotional every time I think about it, because here's my mother, this little girl. She went through Ellis Island, and she came to New York, right through up the Hudson River. And my dad also is a Polish immigrant, but he, on the other hand, he was in the Merchant Marine Academy. He jumped ship in Germany, also seeking political asylum back then because it was a communist regime. And he signed up for the U.S. Army in Germany. And the next thing you know, they were reducing forces, and they gave him a plane ticket. Where do you want to go in the world? He came to New York with a little suitcase, met my mom in Glen Cove, I think 2 weeks later. And they've been married for, 60, they're 82 and 86 right now.
Wow.
And
God bless them.
Yeah. So those are my parents. Yeah. I grew up a little differently than a lot of, like catching eels and filleting fish and hunting.
Yeah. All the authentic stuff, right?
Yes, stuff that
That-
no one does anymore.
We've got another cool video to show our Lovity
Oh.
viewers. The viewers are called the Lovity Squad because I said the show has a lot of light, love, and levity. And last year I said it too fast and I said Lovity, Loveity. The
Uh-huh.
viewers jumped on that and they said, "We are your Lovity Squad. You're Mr. Lovity. This is Lovity
Aw,
Hall.
I
The
like it.
guests are part of the Lovity family at the Jim Master Show Live." I think that's really cool. And a lot of what you're talking about really is Lovity. It's really
Mhm.
kindness and
Mhm.
empathy, compassion, and
Exactly.
civility, respect, being good to
Yep.
one another. We
Mhm.
are lacking in a lot of those things in our world and our
Yes.
society of late.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's very important that we sort of get on that
Keep talking
bandwagon.
about it.
Bring it
Mhm.
back. Yeah, keep talking
Mhm.
about it. We've got a compilation of photos and video clips that are very cool too that we're going to show our viewers, our Lovities. Do you want to preface that at all, or just play it and we'll talk?
I'm not sure exactly. I can color commentate while you're playing.
Here it
I'm trying
comes.
to- I don't even know what it's going to be. Ah, there we go. That's in West Hampton right there. That was one of my cute modeling poses. I was a gymnast, so you can see. That's my hubby. That's Steven. Yeah. And these are my children. My daughter with the purple and blue hair. Me as an attorney. Yeah. I actually have a serious side to me.
Yes, of course.
I
Yes.
speak. Those are some. I do keynote speeches. I speak about different topics: gender inequality in the workplace, sexual harassment. That's me at the New York State Assembly. That's me teaching a stylist safety program.
I thought I was busy with all the hats I wear.
Well, I'm older than you, so. Well, that's the Divas Crystal Whistle. That's part of the Nowza campaign. That's just me in the city. Oh, that's that shot we had in the back. Yay! I was doing a photo shoot for a book cover. That was me at Mrs. America when I was on national television. That was fun.
Wow.
Yeah. And these are just some fun photos in the city. And I won Mrs. Corporate America. That was that one.
Did you really?
Yeah. Yeah, that was me on the rooftop in New York City when I won Ms. World Elite in 2017.
How do you have time to do it all? A lot of
They
people
don't
are probably
take, it doesn't
watching and
take a
they're
lot of
saying,
time.
"Are
It
you good
doesn't.
with time management? You must be terrific with time management."
I am, but they don't take a lot of time. I just go. I just do. So a lot of people obsess maybe over preparations and whatnot. I know what
Yeah.
I need to do and I do it.
Yeah.
So I'm
So
busy, don't get me wrong, but I try to be prepared.
So what is a typical day like for you, my friend? I mean, how do you start the day? And do you have a certain regimen? Are there different things that you do to get prepared for your day?
Well, every day is different, but I will say there are certain things that I do. Every morning I wake up and my husband and I, about every morning, we sit in our den. Okay. Like this morning, the sun was shining and with our dogs, and because the kids are already gone, they're older, and we drink our coffee or tea or whatever, and we just chat and we just kind of connect and we talk about what's going on, what's happening in the day, what will be happening, what has happened, what we're going to be doing. And it's really a beautiful moment. I really cherish those times with him. And it's a very special moment. So from that point forward, then it ends. Then everything it could be new. I could be going to it could be anything. It could be a meeting. It could be a lunch. It could be absolutely anything. So Zoom calls. I have a lot of clients that I actually don't have to necessarily meet with anymore because after the pandemic, we learned that we can be in our pajamas and make money. So, I lost your audio there.
It's all online, right? Everything is all online.
Everything's online. Everything is, most of my work now is email and telephone. That's it.
Now you also, you're as much as an attorney you also consult, right? You have this whole sort of Ask Lydia type thing. Tell us about that.
Yeah. Well, what I do is this. So I'll give you an example. Someone will come to me and they'll say, well, I'm thinking about doing this, whatever it is. I'm thinking of forming this business that's going to make widgets, whatever it is. I will sit them down. Well, not physically, but I will have a call with them and I will say, okay, tell me a little bit more about your business. And then the nice thing about what I do is not only will I help them, I will form their business entity. I will explain what needs to be done. I will help them draft, let's say, an operating agreement or articles of, I'll do the whole thing from soup to nuts. Once they form the business entity, of course, there's other filings, tax things. I might refer them to either, an accountant or whomever. So I do have that network that I do refer them to people. Then they're going to need a website. So I'll have a discussion with them about domain names, about Shopify, about an affiliate program, because I've done it. So I've lived that life too. So I understand it. And so I do consult with them aside from being an attorney and doing the legal part. I also do consult with them on business development, what they need to do to get to the next level, to actually open up their restaurant or to actually have their online store, to get their tax ID numbers, whatever it is. It's once they get open and running, then a lot of times they'll come back to me after they've already been working for a while and they'll, look for guidance or, they'll have a contract with a vendor and I'll review the contract for them. Or they'll say, Lydia, I need a contract for this, and I'll prepare a contract. So, so it's my day is just my husband and I will go, away for a weekend, and we'll take the dogs with us because like I said, we have the 3 dogs, and we're just always doing. We're always doing, whether it's Manhattan or traveling or to Florida or West, whatever it is, we're always running around.
Always running around. Right, exactly, which is great. I want to show you some of the live comments coming in from our Gym Master Show Levity audience. Maureen in Arizona, who just recently retired from many years in the healthcare industry as a nurse in Arizona, one of those first responders. I truly admire how your ambition drives you to great heights, and I'm sure your hubby and kids are mega proud of you.
Thank you.
Maureen. And Jane, watching live in Sweden, says, what a remarkable woman you are, Lydia.
Aww.
Wow.
Thank you. That's so sweet.
David says the golden rule. Merlin in Canada says, my family immigrated from Poland also and moved to Wilno, Ontario.
Vilno. Okay. Yeah. No.
Vilno?
Well, I
the
know
W becomes a V, right?
There was a town in Poland, Vilno, which my mother was from near that area. So
yeah. That's cool. Have you had a chance, of course, not during this time, but to go back to Poland? Is there still family there?
Yes, my father's, believe it or not, my father, who's 86, still has sisters that live there.
Wow.
And he has siblings that, I have cousins there. My father's entire family, I would say 90% of his family are still in Poland.
They are still.
So I haven't been there for many, many, many years, but I did go visit there one time. But back then, keep in mind, it was a communist country for a long time. And it was when I went there, it was very different, very gray. There was, lines to get food, and it was just horrible. I do want to go back there, hopefully after the pandemic, maybe we'll take, fly over there and just to see what it's like. I hear it's very beautiful though.
Yes, obviously a little bit different than it was, which is spectacular and good and positive. Yeah, absolutely. I know from people I've been involved with some words like, I know Dami Bougie is give me a kiss. Give me a kiss, right? Dami Bougie, right?
Yeah.
And right now I'm sitting on my dupa.
Yes.
And that's not my chair. It's my keister.
So yes.
Dupa.
That's so funny that you know those phrases.
Yes. Dami Bougie is give me a kiss, like you say to all of our Levity viewers. And dupa. And there was another word that I heard, but I don't know if everybody used it. But it was for slippers. They would say poochies. Have you ever heard that one?
No, I haven't.
Poochies.
I haven't heard that.
Poochies.
I like it though.
Slippers. Yeah,
I'm going to use that from now on. I'm going to steal that.
I'm now sitting here at the bar in my poochies.
There's a phrase. It's so funny.
Sitting on my dupa. Yeah, I'm sitting on my dupa in my poochies. Now, Dami Bougie.
That's so funny.
I'm going to ask the Levities to repeat what we just said. You're wearing your slippers, sitting on your butt. Give me a kiss.
Give me a kiss. Exactly. There's a
What are
phrase my
some
dad
other,
used to say. He
are
used to
you
say,
able to, yeah, go
I
ahead.
was going to say, he used to say this phrase, and I never understood it. It's piesci morde lizao, which means
Ooh.
the dog licked your face. And to this day, it was like a whole thing. It was, I guess it was an embarrassment, or the dog
Wh-
licked, I don't know, but that was like a big deal for my family. Piesci morde
Are you
lizao.
fluent in Polish?
Yes.
What
Ja
would be a
jeszcze, ja
couple of,
jeszcze rozmawiam po polsku.
yeah, say a couple of sentences for us,
Oh,
and then you can translate after about how much
oh
you love
boy.
the Jim Master Show.
Ja, ja dużo nie rozmawiam po polsku, ale jeszcze pamiętam parę słów. Ale mój tatuś jest teraz starszy i ja jeszcze dużo nie rozmawiam z nim.
I like
So
the way you went
basically I'm
higher and
saying,
higher in your
oh my
notes.
God. I'm like,
So what did you
like,
actually say?
I basically said I speak Polish, but I don't really use it very often. And
You wouldn't
typically
know it from the way that sounded. It was
and I
very
said
melodic.
my dad's getting older, but I don't really speak to him in Polish very much. But he would be happy. He would be very happy if I did, though.
Show him this episode.
Yes.
Say, look, Dad,
And my mom.
and I did it live on the air. What are your parents' names?
My father is Jan Szczepanowski, and my mother is Janina Szczepanowski.
Wow, Jan and Janina. That's
Yeah.
cool how that worked out, huh?
How cool is that? They have the same. So in Poland, they don't celebrate birthdays; they celebrate name days. It's
Yes.
So it's Saint John. So it's Jan and Janina. They have technically the same, birthday.
Yeah.
Or name day. Name day. Yeah.
Merlin in Canada says, I know a few words, but they're not appropriate.
That's funny. Yeah, so do I. I'm not going to say them either.
No, you're going to say it on the air. So what other cool things are you working on and that you have up your sleeve? I mean, you've got so much, and how have you been able to, probably, I'm sure a lot of people want to know this, and they alluded to it,
Sure.
some in the comments, how have you been able to balance the work life, the entrepreneurial life, the creating this and doing this? And, sometimes you can get into cases that are extensive and go on for a while. And then you have all of this extra work with, the top model and the philanthropy and everything else. And of course, that wonderful women's organization. How do you balance the work, life, family equation? How has it worked for you? And what advice would you have for anybody who's sort of in the thick of that right now, trying to balance it all out?
Mm-hmm. Well, first and foremost, I will say that when I was doing more litigation, it's very difficult when you're involved in a trial, let's say, or you're really heavy duty, like you had just mentioned, involved in a case. It's very difficult to do anything other than that. So if you have a good support system, if you have children and you have another person in your life that can, assist you, you have to definitely ask for help. That's number one. But putting that aside, because now I'm really focusing much more on business development, drafting contracts, and more transactional work, if anything, I'm finding that, think of the pyramid at the very top, right? You have that little triangle, and that's the pinnacle. Those are the things that you absolutely have to do. And in the morning, I'll say, okay, what do I have to do today, no matter what? So that's what I take care of. Then you have the next layer. So if you finish all those things that you have to do, you go to the next one and you say, okay, these are the things that I really should do and I'd like to get to today. Hopefully I do. And then the lower you go, at the very bottom, it's like, one day I'm going to write a novel. Like that may never happen, but it's on there. So
somehow I think you're going to.
I have a book proposal out there, but it's really about priorities. It's setting priorities, understanding what you need to take care of. Like when my kids were smaller, it's like if they get sick, you just have to put everything aside and you make it work. You have to take care of them.
You go with what's David says your life is so full. How do you maintain time for just yourself?
I participate in the World Top Model Competition. So women go to like Gurney's and they go to a spa. I do a competition. That is my joy. That is my exuberance, my exhilaration. Those are the things that I do. That brings me joy and happiness, meeting people, sharing space with other women, all different ages from all over the world.
Yes.
How many people out there can say that they know people, women from every single state in our country. Okay. At least I know at least 2, if not more. And then it expands to throughout the world. During this competition that I just participated in, I had a chance to speak to and spend time with we had a scavenger hunt. I forgot to mention. So of
Did you
course
really?
it was in New York City. Who was the best captain? That would be me. So they gave you hints, and of course I knew them all. So I was the leader, and I was telling all the girls to like go there and take a picture there. So so that's my time also. And I do exercise, I do Pilates, and I love that. I just started that. I'm always doing something new. You just have to make time for yourself. So I do. I absolutely do. No question about it. I don't take care of everyone else. I used to much more. Now I do. I'm number one right now, because if I'm not good, no one else is good. Right?
Well, that's the thing, right? Yeah, exactly. If you go down, a lot of times the house goes down.
The whole ship. It's the Titanic.
What's your fitness regimen like? Obviously, in order to compete in the world top model Ms. 2022, were there certain things you had to do, and do you do those anyway in terms of exercise, fitness, nutrition?
Right. Well, it's funny you should mention that. I actually have a book proposal, and it's actually called, you ready? The working title was "There's Something Fishy About That Skinny Bitch," and and I have an acronym, and it's how I live my life. And the funny thing is, I joke around. I say there's probably things that I do that some people would say are either unhealthy or unacceptable. Like, for example,
You go to White Castle and Comac.
been there, done that. But I love the flavor of Doritos. So I don't always eat them. Sometimes I'll lick them, and I just will put them in a pile. And my husband once picked it up, and he's like, "What is this?" And he'll say, "Lydia, this is wrong. You're wasting food." I'm like, "No, I'm not wasting anything. The birds are getting them, so I'm good. I just wanted the flavor." And no, I'm not a big. I do eat healthy. I eat a lot of fish, a lot of seafood. I love sushi. I'm not a big fan of, like if I eat pasta, it has to be like kick-ass best, like homemade pasta. If I love bread, but I'll only eat bread that's, like a beautiful French roll that's hot with butter on it. Like, I love that. And I don't deprive myself of anything. But my acronym is waffles, which one day you'll learn what it is, which I'm not going to share with you right now. But one of the S in the waffles is snob. I am a food snob. I don't put stuff in my body that I know is not good for me. Right. So I don't eat really a lot of processed foods. Yeah. I don't eat a lot of fried foods. I just don't really like them. But everything else is pretty much okay, but I focus a lot on steak, and, I love different meats and chicken, and I love seafood, and that makes me very happy.
Yeah, good. You're content with all of that, right? What about desserts? Do you give up sugar? Do you do sugar?
No.
Yeah.
No, I will. But what I will do is I won't necessarily eat the entire dessert. So like a cannoli, I'll eat the cream inside, because that's the part I like. And I don't need the cookie part,
What about New York pizza?
I eat the cheese.
So you take the cheese and the rest of the
not always. It depends. Like,
yeah.
I mean, look, the reality is this. I don't weigh myself really. I don't diet. I do not diet. However, if I find that I'm, my clothing is getting a little snug, I might just eat the cheese, but I don't always do that. It depends on where I am in my life, how I feel, because it doesn't matter about anyone else. It's how I feel about myself.
Which is important. Sometimes we forget that. A lot of people are watching what everybody else is doing, trying to follow, keeping up with the Kardashians and all this other stuff. And a lot of that's unrealistic. And like you say, the whole Instagram thing, everything's filtered and everything is processed and not necessarily real. Right. And there are a lot of people who do have a poor image of themselves. Yeah. And they go to these places where they think it makes them feel better, but it does for about 10 minutes. And then it's almost like a sugar high, and then
no good.
Not too healthy. You want to surround yourself with positive energy, positive people, and believe in yourself and your talents. We talk
Right.
about that a lot on our show sometimes, regardless who the guest is, about finding
Mhm.
inspiration, empowerment, finding ways to be compassionate and empathetic, bringing
Yeah.
people together, all of which I like to do. And through,
Mhm.
my platform on television and radio, I
Mhm.
have the opportunity to do it. But even when I'm not on the air with the lights and the glitz, I still like to do that. And it's very
Mhm.
important there's a lot of negative energy out there these
Right.
days. And you see it, you've seen it in the courtroom. I've
Mhm.
seen it, in
Yeah.
the media world and broadcasting and entertainment world. And just you can see, well,
Mhm.
you don't have to be in either of these fields. Just go to the supermarket and try to get a
I
parking
know.
spot. You'll see
Yeah.
a lot of
But
negativity.
but you know what, Jim?
Positivity is what
Yeah,
we need.
let me just throw this out there, which I'm so glad you're saying what you're saying. And I think it's so important. But you know what? Those are very positive words. But what I've developed over the past, recent few years is my compassion level is like through the roof right now because
Yeah.
I understand that people are suffering and they
They're
don't even
hurting.
realize it.
They
They don't
don't.
realize it. So someone who's being aggressive, who's being abusive, no excuse, absolutely none. However, if you really look back, there's probably a reason why. They probably sustained some type of trauma as a child and they never processed it. They never, realized that that's something that happened and they act out, they act out on other people. And it's really sad, whether it's alcohol, gambling, whatever it is, there's all these addictions. And then people are drugging themselves and they're taking all types of medications to numb themselves. And one thing I've learned, there's a speaker, Brene Brown, and I don't know if you've heard of her, but so whoever listeners, there's a video that she did. I think it's about vulnerability, and she talks about how people have to learn how to be vulnerable. They have to learn how to let go and put themselves, in the arena, put themselves out there and understand that they have to believe. And I said this earlier today, and repeat, they have to believe that they are worthy of love and connection. And those are words. And people are going to listen to me like, what the heck is she talking, about? But it's take the time. I always say to people, take the time to really go back to your childhood, investigate how you grew up and the messages that were given to you by your family, where you were in your family. And again, I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist. I'm not none of that stuff. I'm very well read when it comes to this. I love reading about, you know, all of these topics and
Yeah.
what
It's all
how
tied together.
all tied together. But what's happening in today's day and age, I think that unfortunately a lot of people are just they're splitting. Everything's black or white. You're either pro this or anti that.
Yes, us
And
versus them, and yeah, not
yes, and as
good.
an attorney, it's so frustrating because think about it. You have a car accident, you have a plaintiff and a defendant, right? Same
Yes,
facts, but there's two different sides. But
right.
you have to be willing to listen to the other person. You don't have to agree, but they have the right to say what they're saying. Okay. This is how I feel. And you don't even have to, acknowledge, you could say they're totally wrong, but they do have a right to say the opposite of what you're saying. Again, plaintiff defendant, right? You ran the red light. No, I didn't. You hit me in the rear. It's just, and who's right? Not, you never know. So,
You hit me in the dupa.
yes, perfect, perfect. But yeah,
Yeah,
I feel strongly about that, about, value, how a person looks at themselves. Self-worth is self-love and self-worth is so important, so important. They really are. And people should really realize that you're not defined by what you look like. You're not defined by how much money you make. You're not defined by that. It's who
right.
you are, your heart, your compassion, your empathy. We're repeating these things, but they're true. These are accurate things.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Terry Ann says, has anyone heard the saying, if mama's not happy, then no one's happy?
absolutely. That is and there's also happy wife, happy life. That's another one, right?
Yeah, exactly right. I agree. That's
Yeah, that's a good one too. So,
but like me, you like instilling inspiration and empowerment through everything you do. And I think
right.
that's really, really fantastic. For
Thank
anybody joining us later, we are talking to hot off the presses, gang. It just happened. She was all excited. She contacted me and said, Jim, I got it. World top model Ms. 2022. extraordinary philanthropist as well. She founded a wonderful organization that supports women, litigation attorney, law expert, keynote speaker, mom, wife.
Yes. And let me
She's got a
throw this.
roast in the oven right now.
No, I went to Uncle Giuseppe's. I didn't cook today, but but let me throw this in there. I want you to know that I'm so proud to say that during the pandemic, when we weren't able to meet up, I partnered with a very dear friend who I met through pageantry, Laura Hunter. She has a company called Tori Bell Cosmetics. Over the past year, we've raised $87,000, and I wrote checks personally with my hand out to these people who were in need because they were affected severely, financially impacted by the pandemic. So
That's
we sent those checks
beautiful.
out, and I was really like those things make you feel good,
Yes. Yes.
So,
We were trying to do a lot of that as well, bringing food to shelters and dropping by senior homes. And,
mhm.
when we could,
Yeah.
before COVID really became where you couldn't even go anywhere, or they wouldn't let you in, but we were
Mhm.
really trying to do, what we could as well. And I think when you do that, it makes you feel good. I mean, not only does it make the person that's receiving it feel good and appreciated and valued, but it makes you feel good doing it too. And it's a wonderful cyclical situation, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what? I truly believe from the bottom of my heart that we are on this earth to make a difference in other people's lives, whether it be as a mother, where you're making a difference in your children's lives, whether it be as a wife or spouse in your spouse's life, or whether it be as a lawyer in your client's life, or whether it be as a role model where, I've gotten letters from people, from young girls that were like, oh, you spoke at this high school and you remember what you said, or you taught me this. And, my parents kicked me out and I want you to know that I'm okay. And I remember what you said. And it's beyond, I mean, that's my drug. And and I love it. And you know what, if that's my biggest fault, that I get off on helping people, then I'm guilty. That's the way it is. And it's just a beautiful thing. And to see someone smile and that remember I mentioned earlier today during our conversation,
Right.
you change the trajectory of someone's life by just one little thing. You could say something, do something, teach something, and it could completely change someone's life. And that's just a beautiful thing.
It really, really is, I tell you. And everybody, hopefully, who's listening to us here live, or perhaps in the archives at Gym Masters TV, pays heed to it, because it's so important and it's needed more than ever, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I agree with that. Yeah. And it's unfortunate what's happening. You see so much negativity in the world. And I wish I had the answers. I don't know why. Politics are crazy right now. I try to stay away. I'm very objective. I'm open-minded. I don't really take positions. I have opinions about things, but I have respect for other people, for everyone. And, we could love each other and disagree. It's okay. It's okay.
Right.
And the respect and the civility, you mentioned that, Jim, earlier, and those words don't exist anymore. There's this complete lack of respect for other people, and they're not civil. They don't understand. Maybe I'm old fashioned. I speak very respectfully to people. I don't care who you are. I will always treat you with respect, no matter who you are. Doesn't matter. And you can be completely on the opposite side of any belief system I have. It just doesn't matter. Because we're all here on this earth. We're all here together. We bleed the same. We're all here the same for a very short period of time.
Exactly.
So make the best of it. And I sound like peace, love, and happiness, but I do believe in that.
We call it levity around here. It's levity.
Yes, exactly.
JMS levity. Somebody had asked earlier, what was it like being around Hulk Hogan?
I wanted to arm wrestle him.
Did you really? Looks like it, huh?
Yeah. I mean,
Why did I somehow think you would win?
You know what? It's so funny. I used to look at celebrities, I guess, look up to them. Now it's just they're people, and they're just like you and I, and they may have more exposure and they may have more money and they may have who knows what, but at the end of the day, it's what again we're talking about. we're all the same. We do the same things in the morning and at night, and we're breathing the same air and living on the same earth, and that's it. So
Yeah. That's a great shot.
that's a good one. That's actually when I received I know what that is. So I was able to establish Teen Personal Safety Awareness Week in the state of New York.
Oh, that's
And
great.
it's the first week in November. And we did that because through the charity, we had so many different campaigns. This was when, again, pre-pandemic, we have Voices for a Cause, which basically it's, not only women, but women and some, young men and boys, and they were victims of assault and they shared their stories. We changed the names just to, protect their identity. And they shared their stories not only for themselves because it was very therapeutic, but they also shared their stories because they're hoping that maybe someone will read it and they'll be in a situation that they can avoid becoming a victim. So, they did that. We have, the I Be Safe bracelets. We have just book covers. We just have so many things that we do to try to raise awareness. Again, my seminars, it's been a long time. Fashion shows we do. we do events to raise money. We distribute money. Some of them very little. And by the way, there's no salaries. Like none of us get paid. This is all the money that we raise goes to either, if we have to maintain a website, that kind of administrative expenses. But by and large, all the money goes to either someone else. Oh, there's my family.
There's the family.
There's my little girl, the artist. She's the scholar artist. Excuse me.
Who do we have here?
So to my far left, my daughter Rachel. She goes to Parsons. She's Luna Taylor Art. She's, incredibly intelligent. So Newsday, they have a program that's called the Scholar Artist Award. She got the Award of Merit on Long Island when she graduated. She got like ridiculous grades and whatnot, and she's doing phenomenally well. So on Instagram, her thing is Luna Taylor Art. My son next to her, that's Daniel. He's now 24. He works as a recruiter in the city, lives in Murray Hill. The oldest one, he's a famous glass blower. He works with borosilicate glass and 3D printers. And there's my handsome husband, Stephen. We've been married 29 years in May.
29 years. Congratulations, huh?
And thank you. And then I think that was New Year's Eve. I don't even know. But I'm wearing something sparkly, as you can see.
That's it. And if I ever have a problem, I think I'm going to give you a call again.
Absolutely.
I think especially with that background there.
That's a nice front kick with the little ball of the foot there. My elbows are a little wide, but it was for a photo. They should technically be in more.
So really having this opportunity to be the world top model Ms. 2022, again, congratulations. You've got to be sort of basking in the glow of this honor, of having the opportunity to really, speaking of basking in the glow.
Yes, basking in the glow. There I am.
Basking in the glow.
Good angles.
Yeah. But just to have the opportunity to have experienced this in the way that you have,
yes.
What would you say to somebody that's watching live or later on who is being inspired by what you're saying, the things you've been able to accomplish? Like you mentioned, and we mentioned in the introduction, you didn't come out of the gate early on as a kid with all of these privileges, with the silver spoon, with everything laid out for you. You really had probably that ethic that your parents instilled, hard work and family values and morals and, make it happen, was very effective for you. And you absorbed that, and your kids obviously absorbing it from you and your husband, which is a great pay it forward thing. But you didn't come out of the gate with everything already laid out for you. You had to really create your world. So somebody that's watching right now and seeing and hearing all of this saying, gee, I would love to just do any one of those things. What would you say to them to inspire them?
I probably say to them, and I say this with humility, that my success is probably, or I should say my success manifests itself out of my weaknesses and my insecurities, which might sound kind of bizarre, but for a long time, I think I felt like I wasn't good enough. And I think it all goes back again. We were talking about the whole family dynamic. I love my dad to death, but he was he grew up where he grew up, on a farm in Poland, raising rabbits or whatever. So I always probably tried to please him. And I think that probably encouraged me to keep doing, and whether it be sports or education and going to school. I financed college and law school. I graduated with a big debt, but I knew that it was worth it because I would eventually pay it off. So the inspiration is, know who you are. And if you really have a goal, focus on that. And there truly is, and I'm realistic, like I'm not going to be, like I said, a runway model in Milan. Not that I want to be, but that's not happening. But realistically, if you put your mind to something, to anything, if you focus on it and you have discipline and you dedicate yourself, there's really not much you can't achieve. You can do anything you want. And I think I just put my mind to things, and I just kept going. And I don't necessarily always have a plan moving forward. Like, I don't know what I'm necessarily doing tomorrow, but I know that with this title, I'm going to use this World Top Model Ms. Position that I have. And I want to continue taking this message that you and I, Jim, discussed. It really, at the end of this show, we kind of consolidated it, and we basically said, it's all about helping others. It's about being compassionate. It's about being a good person. And I mean that. Those are not just words. You have to live the words. You have to understand them, and you have to be those words. I don't, someone could say, yeah, I'm gorgeous and I love myself, and they don't. You have to believe in that. So again, just in conclusion, the inspiration is love yourself. Everyone has value. I don't care what it is, who they are. I don't care where they came from. Not everyone is the same. Don't look at other people and what they have and who they are. They're taken already. Kim Kardashian is Kim Kardashian. You don't need to be her because she's already her. Be you. Be who you are.
Mhm.
Find your place in the world. Find what makes you happy and brings you joy. And if you find that happiness and joy, I guarantee that you're going to just be this positive, glowing force in the world. It just happens,
Yeah.
That's how I feel. I really feel strongly about that. And be authentic. Don't be
Yes.
phony. Be authentic, because phony stinks.
And people can smell that from a mile away these
mile
days.
away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So I feel strongly about that. Again, authenticity, energy, positivity, respect, compassion, empathy. Those are very, very important things. And that's what makes you valuable. I don't give a crap about any of that other stuff,
All that other frill stuff. Yeah,
none of that stuff.
exactly.
Yeah. So that's kind of how
The
I
Lydia
feel.
story. But what would Lydia of today say to the young Lydia here, the young girl Lydia here?
I would say, always remember that you are perfect the way you are, and you are always good enough. That's what I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the way you are.
Could you have imagined any of this turning out for you in your life the way it has back then, or when you were a teenager? Were you always somebody who
Never.
said, I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to make it happen.
No.
Or did that come with time and wisdom?
I never, ever imagined having the life that I have. I never said to myself, oh, I'm going to be a successful lawyer. Again, maybe it's because of where I came from, humble beginnings. I
right.
did. I mean, I had no idea what I'd be doing. Like I said, had I not gotten into law school, I was doing windsurfing, and who knows where that would have led. So I am and another thing, you ready? Gratitude. Be grateful for everything that you have. Stop looking at what you don't have and appreciate everything you do.
Yes.
And that might sound, I sound like I'm quoting out of like Goodreads or something, but I'm not.
It's important, right?
This is real. This is real stuff. This is how I really feel this way. And authenticity is key. Be true to who you are, and be true to yourself and your family. And who gives a what about what other people think, what they say, what they do. I'm not keeping up with the Joneses. I don't even know who they are. But I am just
Years
I
ago,
have
you would know the Joneses and you'd go over with a bunk cake and go to a Tupperware party.
and I don't,
Not anymore.
and I don't have insecurities. And you know what? I get judged every day of my life, whether it be in a courtroom or with the ladies down the street. It just doesn't matter. Because if you know in your heart that you are a good person and that
Yes.
you care and that it just doesn't matter because that's their stuff.
Right.
So did you ever hear of a book by Don Miguel Ruiz? It's called The Four Agreements. One of the four agreements is basically saying it's their stuff, not yours. Don't worry about what other people say or do because that's their crap, not yours. And don't let it affect you. Because if someone yells at you or cuts you off or whatever, it has nothing to do with you. Or if someone hurts you, or if someone insults you, or someone's in the store and they're nasty to you, that's their you know what, not yours. So when you live like that, it helps you realize that everyone has their issues and their challenges and their pain and whatever, and maybe they just never really went through it. So
that's very true. And I've told people that very thing that oftentimes when somebody does do that, when they are rude or arrogant or say insulting things or whatever, usually they're doing that probably throughout the whole day to everybody. It isn't just for you. So don't take it personally.
Yeah, they're hurting.
And underneath all of that, well, even like with a bully, the bully is usually somebody oftentimes who's been bullied and only knows how to get what they need from the bully or being a bully. And it's you have to really just keep going forward and be true to yourself and stay true to who you are and just let some of it roll off. Sometimes easier said than done.
Yes.
But, you know, you just got to keep saying, hey, you know, you have a spot at the table just as deservedly as anybody else. And we're all here for a reason and we all have our talents. We're all here for a purpose. And whether we are world top model or a lawyer or a television or radio guy or whatever we are, we all have something to give and something to say. And when we realize that, it sort of makes the earth spin on its axis a lot smoother, huh?
It's a beautiful thing. Let me tell you, it is a beautiful thing. It really is. And I'm so glad that we've had this discussion because
me too.
You know, I know that you understand what I'm saying, and I'm sure everyone out there, you know,
very
will
much
take
so.
the time to really listen. And I think it's a very, very powerful message. It's an important message. And we're here for, again, we're all here together. You know, everyone's hurting. There's people out there hurting, and whatever their pain is, you know, have compassion. Don't have anger. Because I don't get angry at anyone, just so you know, there's no anger in me because I know that if I'm a good person and I have a good heart and someone does something to me, they're doing it out of their own, whether it be insecurity, their own dysfunction, their own whatever. And I feel bad for them. And that's what I've learned compassion to be. And I would like to help them if I can. So.
Absolutely. And that's really key. So, I mean, congratulations on winning the World Top Model Ms. 2022. What we talked about tonight could have been a phenomenal acceptance speech.
Right.
But I think we're kindred spirits. We're on the same page
Absolutely.
about a lot of different things about life. And the other cool thing out of all of this discussion tonight, including the Polish conversation too, which I thought was cool.
Dupa.
Neither one of us coming from Long Island, New York, says Long Island.
No.
I don't say it and you don't say it. Who says that? Where are those people that say Long Island? I don't say it.
I think maybe like Teresa Caputo, like the Long Island medium. I think she says Long Island.
I mean, I just never said it. I don't know why.
No.
It's like,
well, that's because we actually have, we give good voice, you know, we're.
I like what Merlin says. She sums it up in her straightforward way. You're not just a pretty face. Kudos to you.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you.
I think that's really, really
Thank
cool.
you. I appreciate that.
David says, what a beautiful blessing to have won, of course. Thanks so much to display your innermost beauty with all of us today. Sherry Larson in Kansas says such wonderful words of wisdom. Yeah, really cool.
Thank
And if
you
you
so
guys
much.
joined us late, see some of the videos and other cool things that we showed earlier. Merlin asked, has your son been to Murano, Italy? You know, glass blowing and all?
No, he hasn't. And in fact, Murano is that they use a different type of glass. That's
Yes,
soft glass, and they use
right.
big ovens.
It's incredible.
My son works with borosilicate glass, which is
Okay.
scientific glass, and they're
Yeah,
really thin, very high. You
yeah,
need high, super high
yeah.
temperatures to melt it. They're
I love
glass
glass
nuts.
blowing. I
Yeah,
remember we
so
used to go on class trips to see the glass blowers.
mhm.
I think there was a farm in Old Bethpage we used to go to where they had a glass blowing shop, and with the guy
That's so
being there doing
true.
it, and that was cool to see that, and then they
Yeah.
take it, and it's like
Well,
a work of
yeah.
art, and it all comes from sand.
Yeah. Well, his, like I said, his is like Corning scientific
Yeah.
glass, like what beakers are made of. So it's a little
Yeah.
different, but same concept, you know.
Yeah, that's it. Start from zero and look what we've got, right? Magic.
Well,
Cool
what we're gonna,
stuff.
yeah, exactly. What I'm gonna have to do though, Jim,
Yeah.
is I'm gonna maybe come back after a few months and I'll let you
Yeah.
know how things are going, and I'll tell you about my ridiculously fun experiences that I'm sure I'm going to.
Yes.
I know I'm going to like the Tonys, and I'm going to Vegas, and I'm going to like Disney, doing all kinds of fun.
Absolutely. Keep us updated. And as you're doing all that, spread the word about the Jim Masters
I
Show
will.
Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series, where
I
sort
will.
of, you know, it's done like Dick Cavett, Johnny Carson, some of the old school talk show hosts using my TV and radio background, and yet with a modern vibe, modern twist of
Yeah.
today, sort of blending those two worlds. And spread the word, let folks know, other folks you think might want to pop on. Mr. George Burns was with us tonight. He loved it.
I mean, this could be like Carmack, right? Where he used to
There
do.
you go. Mr. George Burns in his
Nice.
tuxedo. He got
Aw,
all dressed up tonight with a cigar because he wanted to meet world
aw,
top model Ms.
love him.
2022.
So
I hope
sweet.
you had a good time as
I
much as
did.
I did, and you enjoyed it as much as I did,
I
Lydia.
did. Thank you for having me so much. Really,
My pleasure. And I hope it met whatever expectations you had too.
I had no expectations. I just knew that I wanted to share my information, and it was just so wonderful being here. And I'm going to take this link once it's saved, and we're going to share it with everyone.
Yes, share it. Drive everybody to watch
Yes.
it on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. We would love
Yes.
that. And again, spread the word about our series and our channel. We've done about 640 episodes constantly, which has been
Congratulations.
extraordinary, and loving it. You know, started it in the beginning of the pandemic, and
Yep.
I just love it. Maureen says, Lydia, you're an amazing lady.
Aw.
Clearly, our ambition has served you well. Yes, you are definitely leaving your mark in the world. Keep reaching for the stars.
Thank you.
Jane in Sweden says, thank you, Lydia, for being with us tonight. Such an intelligent, warm-hearted, and fun woman you are. Thanks, Jim. Thank
Aw,
you, Jane in Sweden.
thank you,
And
Jim.
David says, come surf in San Diego.
Woohoo!
That sounds pretty good, huh? Another great place, San
Oh,
Diego, USA.
very
Th-
nice.
This
Thank
was
you.
awesome. What
Thank
is the website for some of these things? So in case
Okay,
people want
so
to check things out.
because everything, Lydia,
Yeah, that's all. That's like the
everything.
encompassing.
There's a few websites. So if you want to get a general idea of what I'm doing, that would be everythinglydia, LIDIA.com. My clothing line, which was coincidentally, ironically, launched right before the pandemic started. So it never officially launched, but that's okay. We're getting there. That is Sculptura. So it's sculpture with an A, sculpturafashions.com. And then we have the charity, which is the Nowsa, NOWSATHE. So THENOWSA.org. That's the charity. And then if you happen to be in New York, I'm only licensed in New York, and you need some legal representation, it's Ask Lydia, LIDIA, thelawyer.com. And then I think that's it. Can't think
That's
of anything else.
plenty to maintain, right?
Yeah.
Merlin
Yeah.
says, thank you, fellow Polish lady.
Yes.
Polish as well.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic. Very beautiful.
Proszę bardzo.
Yeah. Yeah. What would be a wonderful goodbye to the audience in Polish?
Well, just you could say, I guess, just do widzenia is I'll see you, kind of,
Yes,
do
that's even
widzenia.
better because, as I say,
Yes.
we don't say
So
goodbye on
long.
this show. We say see you later on this show. We don't say goodbye.
No,
We say
no
see you
goodbyes
later.
ever. Do
No,
widzenia.
no goodbyes.
Yeah.
You're
So,
the best. This was cool.
thank
I'm glad we were able to put this together in the way that we
Thank
did. We welcome everybody new that's watching, and of course, all of our faithful audience that watches all the time, the Gym Master Show lovities watching around the world. Really cool. Great conversation. Also, congratulations on everything, including the title. And we wish you great blessing and continued success. We'll have you back. We'll keep that porch light on for you, my friend.
Yes.
And we will hopefully see you soon again.
Great. Thank you so much, Jim. It was such a pleasure. And thank you to all the viewers and everyone watching and for all your lovely comments. It really means a lot to me. So thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. As my father has always said, when everybody says something nice to you, ask him to put it in writing and address it management. Address it management.
Or video.
That's it. Take care, my friend. It was a pleasure having you on the show as our guest.
Bye, everyone.
You be well. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Incredible, huh? Fantastic. Got a chance to learn about somebody new here on our show. Thanks, guys, for joining us. We appreciate all these great comments and some of these cool pictures that we show, these cool photos. If you didn't get a chance to see any of these earlier, great commentary, really describing everything that's here. Look at that. Great shots. But of course, you know, we didn't talk about that one. We should have maybe brought that one up. I think you got to explain that one.
Oh,
we can't leave the audience hanging. They're going to be like, wait a minute.
Okay. So just so you know, that photo was in the Daily News. When I won the title of Ms. World Elite, which is, you know, the over 40 or whatever it was, we did a launch party that was on the rooftop of the, which hotel was it? Right in Times Square. So what happened was, I was changing out of my clothes into the bathing suit. It was 100 degrees, literally. Like, I'm not even kidding. And I have a fur coat. And we were behind an area. And unfortunately, unbeknownst to us, even though we were changing, I didn't realize that the buildings, like, it's skyscrapers. So there were people like watching us. And apparently, so if you Google, you know, Lidia Szczepanowski Daily News rooftop peekaboo, whatever you want to call it.
Rooftop peekaboo.
Right. This was a photo shoot we did. And those were just, you know, male models that they wanted to do something that was kind of controversial. They're like my sons. It didn't
Yeah, just sort of like, yeah.
I know, these young boys. I'm like, yeah, I can be your mother. But it was just a fun time. It was, like I said, it was the middle of the summer, rooftop, New York City, 100 degrees.
Yeah.
Just a lot of fun. And like I said, I'll do anything. Whatever.
That's it, right?
So, thank you.
That was cool. Thanks again, my friend. That was the encore. We always, you know, that was the surprise encore. We had that all arranged.
Ta-da!
Maureen says, if I only had half her energy and ambition. And you became a lovity on the Gym Master Show Live, Merlin says as well. And stars and hearts from David. Cool stuff. Thanks again, my friend. You have a great night. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you. All right.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Cool stuff. Little encore there for you, and a cool picture there we showed towards the end. We thank Lidia for joining us here on the show. Really cool. Really very accomplished woman in so many different areas of her life, and some great tips and ideas too, as far as how maybe you can, if you're struggling with how to balance it all, really great opportunities. Avail yourself of some of those opportunities to be able to do that through some of the conversation we had tonight. Again, world top model, Ms. 2022, joining us here. And she was just crowned this week. Yeah. And a great philanthropist, litigation attorney, keynote speaker, and so much more. And really cool to have her on the show. And again, if this is your first time watching and you haven't subscribed, or if you've been watching a long time and you still haven't subscribed, we would love it. It really helps us big time. Subscribe to Gym Masters TV. That's the channel where we house and archive our entire entertainment lifestyle talk show series. Gym Masters Show. Yes, the Gym Master Show Live. And also give this episode a thumbs up like on our YouTube channel underneath this episode, and leave a comment for us as well. We would love that. Hey, look who's with us tomorrow. Remember, of course, the beloved TV sitcom Family Affair with Buffy and Jody and Mr. French and Brian Keith, Sebastian Cabot, Johnny Whitaker, Nissa Jones, and Mrs. Beasley. And of course, Kathy Garver, who played Sissy, coming to us live from Hollywood. This is actually Kathy's third visit to us here on the Jim Masters Show Live. She's going to be here tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. She's all excited. She's spreading the word. She was a guest on our show, and then she was a guest on my birthday party celebration, and she's done videos and all kinds of cool stuff. So Kathy Garver is be making her trifecta, her third times a charm visit to the Jim Masters Show Live. Legendary actress, stage, film, television, voiceover artist as well. The one and only Kathy Garver, who played Sissy on Family Affair on CBS, is joining us. Dwight Turner is going to be joining us this week as well, making his return visit. Brilliant actor, television and film, stage, and more. He's joining us this week on the Jim Masters Show Live as well. So look for that. Excited about that. My buddy Dwight is returning for a return visit to the Jim Masters Show Live. And again, check out some of the episodes that we have done recently. Again, some really cool guests, some great conversations, terrific entertainment, and so much more. And our guests come from Broadway and Hollywood, television, film, music, stage, culinary arts, sports, comedy, inspiration, and everything in between. Sherry Larson says, thank you, Jim. I'm going to have to hit this one in the archives. Enjoyed what I saw. Fantastic. Always great having you here, Sherry in Kansas. Thank you, Jim, for another great episode. Kathleen in New York City, thank you very much. My hair looks a little fuller tonight because when I do the shampoo and conditioning, the day that I do it, it gets a little boom. And then it starts to settle a little bit. That's what the stylist said. And again, you guys have been following this escapade of the longer hair. It's always been shorter like that guy there. But thanks for all the great comments, you guys liking it. It's just the day that I shampoo and condition it. I used to do that every day. I know this is like a men's grooming tip here. Some of the guys who've been guests on the show, we've been talking about that because during the pandemic, they let their hair go a little bit too, or grow. And so we've been comparing notes on this because I've never had it this long in my life, but it's kind of cool. We'll see how long. I've worn it on TV. Everybody seems to like it, but it's a bear to maintain. I mean, I wake up, it's in my face. I lean forward to eat a bowl of soup and it wants to go in my mouth. And it's like, takes forever to shampoo it. And we don't blow dry it. I know it looks like I had it blow dried professionally. Right now, this is all, dry shampoo, condition, and dry on its own. It gets a little bit bigger the day you do that. And then I guess the oils from your hair mix and then it sort of settles down. I guess I'm giving you guys some grooming tips from Jim Masters here, huh? Maureen says, this has been a fabulous evening. We talk about everything on this show. We have a good time doing it. Fabulous evening. Thank you, Jim. I wish everyone a wonderful rest of your day and night. Tight, lovely hugs heading your way. Thank you, Maureen. I appreciate that. Right back at you. Kathleen says, the hair looks great, but you should try to tell it to relax. Give it a day, maybe a day and a half. And it does. It definitely will. It definitely will. David, thanks for joining us as well. Good to see you joining us here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Thanks for all your great participation and comments. If you guys didn't get a chance to comment live in chat, don't worry about it. You can leave a comment on our YouTube channel. Even when the show is over and it's archived in the replays, there's a whole area you can leave comments for us. We would really, really love that. Love it, love it, love it. Good stuff. Jane says, you look great, Jim. Thank you very much, Jane. I appreciate that very much. I know I look like I should be in Sweden, right? Look very European with a hair like this. Kind of cool. You guys are the best. We have such a great following here, great audience of lovities, and we appreciate everything you guys do to spread the word. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Jim Masters TV. Of course, our YouTube channel is Jim Masters TV. And we're bringing back the Lost Art of Conversation for all of you. Don't forget to help us grow. Share the lovity. Tell everybody about our series and our show. And, of course, our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. As we always say, don't forget to smile. Don't forget to share that lovity. And to find your Zen place. Mine, of course, is with loving family and friends first. Tennis, writing, music, even gardening, cycling, and, of course, the ocean. I love swimming, surfing, boogie boarding. That happens to be the South Shore of Long Island, New York. That is Robert Moses State Park and Beach. And the ocean is when you grow up near the ocean, it just calls your name. And it's a key thing for me. And of course, my work in television, radio, stage, and film over the years. Also, another Zen place for yours truly as well. So find your Zen place and share it with the world, gang. Kathleen says, you always look good. Have a great night. You too, Kathleen. Love it. And we still got to get together in the city and paint the town red again, don't we? We're overdue for that. And maybe we'll get back on the Rachel Ray show like we were that time. What was it, 3 years ago now? Pre-COVID for sure. All right, gang, we love you all. It's good to see you and you and you and you. Check us out tomorrow again when our very special guest coming to us live and direct from Hollywood, making her third visit here, is the one and only Kathy Garver. Yes, spread the word, tell everybody, let them know. And then we've got just so many more amazing guests that are coming up. We thank Lidia one more time for joining us here on the show. And we thank all of you. Thanks for all these great comments coming in here. Merlin says, my Zen place is right here. Thank you for that, Merlin. I appreciate that. Live and direct from Ontario, Canada. All right, gang, we love you all. Be good to one another. Take care of one another. And we'll see you on the next episode. I'll be right here waiting for you. I'll be sitting in this host chair right here. I won't move at all. I won't move. I might change the shirt, but I won't move. And I love it. Another comment coming in. Sherry, thank you very much. Love and hugs. Headed out and headed your way. Good stuff. Good way to wrap. You take care. If you are watching this in the replay, stay right here. Another episode of the Jim Masters Show Live comes right up next for you on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Again, take care. Jim Masters here, thanking you for your time this time. Till next time on the Jim Masters Show Live. Be well, take care, and cheers.